Hey everybody, it's Rory from ANSgear. We're upstairs with a ProFlex right here and just a JT lens. We get questions all the time as to why do I need a thermal lens? Why should I buy a thermal lens? What's the benefit of having a thermal lens? Do you really need to have a thermal lens? A lot of questions when it comes to thermal lenses, and the basic answer is yes, you should get a thermal lens. If you're buying a goggle with a single lens on it, wear that until you ruin it and then switch it to a thermal lens. There are just a myriad of benefits to having a thermal lens. The most noticeable, or the best reason to have a thermal lens, is fogging. With a thermal dual pane lens like this, fogging, it still can happen. Fogging still is possible. It's just less likely. If you're in a climate where it is super humid and hot and things like that, you could still, even with a anti-fog thermal dual pane lens, it is still possible. But for the most part, it will help. I got a ProFlex here. This has a thermal lens, and you can see it's got a big old thing that says thermal lens. So there are two different types of lenses. There's a single lens, which would be kind of like this one that I have here, would not have the foam backing, and it would not have the secondary lens in it. Now, there are a lot of single lenses that are also anti-fog single lens. Those work okay. They do not work as good as a thermal lens. So if you can avoid that, go with a dual pane thermal lens like this. If you can't, and that's all you can get, go with that one. That's perfect. If you don't have the ability to get anything else and your single lens is all you can do, maybe you can get a fan for your goggle, or maybe you can get some anti-fog spray or something for your goggle, and that will help as well. But you really want to go with the dual pane thermal if you can. So here it is, a dual pane thermal. We've got our front pane right there of polycarbonate, and then you can see there's a foam divider, and then there's another lens put on the back. So what that does is it separates the front from the back with basically a thermal barrier of air inside there. The same effect happens when you would get into your car and your car window is fogging up. The temperature on the outside and the temperature on the inside is drastically different, and it's typical when outside is colder than the inside right here. So the heat from your body and your breath has a lot of moisture in it. That cold air on the outside, when it comes, that the heat and the moisture of your breath comes into contact with a surface that is cold, it's going to condense on the inside there. So any of that moisture that's in that air from your sweating body or from your breath is going to turn into a liquid on the inside of that lens. So if we can separate the lens from the inside from the lens on the outside, that's much less likely to happen. So I'm going to peel this one apart so you can see it. This lens is all scratched up on the front anyway, so I'm not really worried about saving this one for anything. So typically your lenses will have this film that you want to peel off. Otherwise you'll be looking through it and going, boy, it's really hard to see through this lens. It's real distorted and murky and stuff. Well, that's because you have a protectant on the inside there so that it keeps it nice and clear. Now we can see that foam right through there. Let's see if I can peel this off of here, or just rip it off so you can see. You can see that right there. So now I'm peeling the secondary layer off. So we've got this lens, which is super clear, which was separated by this piece of foam, trapping inside of it air inside there. Air is a terrible conductor of heat or cold or anything like that. So it does not like to move through it, and that's what helps separate the two lenses so that we don't have temperature transfer between the two. Now, like I said before, if you're in an area where it is already humid and gross, then you got to just do your best right there. Definitely get a fan so you're blowing air down into the goggle. wear a headband to keep the sweat from getting down inside there. Keep your the foam in your goggle, this part right inside here, so the actual foam that's resting against your head, try to keep that as dry as possible so you're not just adding extra moisture into the equation right there. Or get some anti-fog. Spray that on the lenses and try to keep them as conditioned as possible. Another thing you never want to try to do is wipe the inside of your lenses. So any kind of treatment that's on the inside of this, if you're just like wiping it all out and stuff like that and being rough with it, any of that stuff that's there to help protect the lens, it's going to be wiped right off. So you just want to be careful with it. But thermal lenses really do add an extra benefit. That's why you'll see them in literally every goggle that's out there. And or they might not come with a thermal lens, but you'll have the ability to buy a thermal lens, and it really does make a tremendous difference. So if you're on the fence as to, do I want to spend the extra couple bucks to get that thermal lens? Is it really going to provide a benefit for me? Yes, it absolutely will provide a benefit. Having that dual layer system like that definitely will increase the chance of not fogging. It's kind of a weird way of saying that. Just makes it so the lens doesn't want to fog. So definitely pick that up. Thermal lenses are available for almost every mask that we carry. Lots of different colors, lots of different options. But like I said, if you were on the fence, pick up a thermal lens. You'll thank me for it. So if you ever have any questions about stuff like that, let us know. Hit us up in the comments. Tell us what you want to see or whatever. But we just want to talk about thermal lenses and why you would want to do it, why it helps, how it works. It's a very simple design. They're available on the website. Thermal lenses for every goggle at ANSgear.com.